Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to a chapter with Shelby. My name is Shelby, and today we're going to be chatting about the books that I'm very excited to read that are coming out this summer. Best life, best life, best life. I'ma keep going. The only season I am very committed to reading themed books for is fall and autumn and Halloween. Naturally, I just think that's just what we do, like we love as a collective community of book lovers. We just love the cozy, the feel good, but the spooky and the thriller. Like we love all those things combined for the fall autumn season, obviously leading into an even cozier season of Christmas. And so I am going to challenge myself a little bit this year to read more summery books. I think I get really caught up with the summerween vibes. We all know, actually, we don't all know, if the summerween readathon is a big readathon in the book community and the book lover community. And it's summer vibes, but spooky vibes combined as well. And so that's where we get summer, ween, summer, Halloween, we marry them together. And so I think because I love summerween so much, I tend to read thrillers and mysteries and psychological thrillers throughout the summer rather than leaning more toward the summer vacation, beachy type vibe. Again, I'm going to challenge myself this year and read a little bit of everything, including more summery vibes. The specific books on my list today are not yet released. I actually think one might be released, but these are, I think, collectively going to be released sometime in August. And so that'll be late summer reading, but you can probably expect most of these books to be on my August TBR. And if not, then as I said, some of them are still a little bit thriller. Who am I kidding? The majority of them are still thriller. But I love reading spooky, thriller, psychological, like mess you up mentally type books in the summer. I don't know why. Like when I think about reading at the beach, I'm thinking about reading a mystery or something that's going to keep me up at night. I don't know. The first book on my very highly anticipated list is called Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I, like many people, read Daisy Jones and the Six, and I really, really enjoyed that book. There was another book by Taylor Reid that I did not enjoy, ended up DNFing it, but this book looks really, really good. The cover is beautiful, and what I know about it, it's set against the backdrop of the 1980s, which is my favorite era. It is a romance, which I am so excited about as well. It is a new novel about the space shuttle program in the 1980s and the lengths that we will go to live and love. I'm predicting that this book will be a 3.5 to a 4-star read for me, solely because, or as of right now, what I know about it, I love the 80s. I love shows that are themed in the 80s. I love books that are themed in the 80s. Like that already is boosting up the rating for me without even having read it. So I'm going to predict it's a 3.5 to a 4-star rating. The second book on my anticipated summer reads list is called The Hounding by, I'm not sure how to pronounce this author's name, so I'm not going to try out of respect. But this book is called The Hounding, and it is very different than what I'm used to reading. But there is a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of like whimsical that I'm picking up on. And so I'm thinking that I will enjoy it, but it's still going to be really a little bit out there outside of my comfort zone when it comes to reading. Goodreads says that it is The Crucible meets the Virgin Suicides, and I've never read either, but in high school I was in the Crucible play, and so I do know what it's about, and so that is making me a little nervous. So Goodreads says The Crucible meets the Virgin Suicides in this haunting debut about five sisters in a small village in 18th century England whose neighbors are convinced they're turning into dogs. Like, what? As relevant today as any time before, the hounding celebrates the wild breaks from convention we're all sometimes pulled toward, and wonders if, in a world like this one, it isn't safer to be a dog than an unusual young girl. And so, like I said, it's very different than what I'm used to gravitating toward, but I'm going to give it a go. And if I need to, I might listen to it on audio because that normally helps me when I'm just not feeling particularly pulled toward a book. The genres of this book, though, include horror, historical fiction, fantasy, mystery, and literary fiction. And for some reason, that cocktail is just kind of speaking to me. I don't know. We're gonna find out. The third book on my anticipated list is highly anticipated. It's called Forget Me Not by Stacey Willingham. I absolutely love Stacey's books. I first read her book, A Flicker in the Dark, and I didn't realize that that was her debut novel. And so I read it and then immediately was like, I love this author. I want to read more from her. Found out that A Flicker in the Dark was her very first book, and it is incredible. It was a 5-star read for me last year. And then she came out with All the Dangerous Things in, I think, in November of last year. And then Forget Me Not is expected to be published August 25th of this year. And I am so excited. I absolutely love her books. Actually, I think I got the timeline on that wrong because she has 3 books. A Flicker in the Dark, All the Dangerous Things, and one other one. Her third book is called Only If You're Lucky, and I read that last year. So I'm probably just getting the timeline of like when these books were published wrong. But all I know is that I read her very first book and I have been following, like literally tracking her next publications as closely as I can. And when I saw that Forget Me Not was on the summer reading suggestions, recommendations, I lost it. A pulse pounding new Southern thriller from the author of the runaway bestseller, A Flicker in the Dark. Ooh, it's a Southern vibe thriller. Ooh. Galloway was supposed to be a place to help her as in Claire. Galloway was supposed to be the place to help her move forward, but instead, Claire quickly finds herself immersed in her own dark and dangerous past. I expect this book to be a 4.5 to 5-star read for me. Her third book, Only If You're Lucky, was like a 3.5-star read for me. I was a little disappointed in that book. Not that it wasn't good, but just compared to A Flicker in the Dark, like holy crap. I don't know. So I just have really high hopes for Forget Me Not. The fourth book I am highly anticipating for the summer is called The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy by Bridget Knightley. First of all, you have no other fan of enemies to lovers that is greater than I. Trust me when I say that. The cover looks delicious and the description is scrumptious. The first in a slow burn enemies to lovers romantasy duology. Need I say more? Featuring a scholarly healer and a gentleman assassin. Come on. Set in an exquisite fantasy world perfect for fans of The Love Hypothesis and Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. Bruh. Come on now. This is going to be a good book. I'm predicting 4 to 4.5 stars. Truly. The genres of this book are fantasy, romance, romantasy, enemies to lovers, fantasy, romance. Ooh, the perfect cocktail. Finally, the fifth, sixth, whatever, the next book on my anticipated summer reads list is called Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This is actually the third book in the Part of Your World series. And I haven't read the first 2, but this one came up on the summer recommendation list. And by the looks of it, by the read of it, of the details, it doesn't seem like you have to read the first 2 to kind of like understand the third. It's probably one of those books where it's just set in the same town with the same characters, but it follows 2 different characters in every single book kind of thing. This just seems like the perfect summer vibe book. And it's giving a little bit of like Emily Henry or Carly Fortune vibes. I feel like it will probably make me want to read the first two books in the series, but I'm guessing that that will be a 3.5 to 4 star read for me. I think I said that the last one was my last book, but I'm going to add one more because I love Catherine Center. And this is not a new book. This was actually published in 2024, but this is called The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center. I love this author so much. I read The Bodyguard by Catherine Center and it was so good. I think I rated it 4.5 stars and I listened to it on audio, which honestly just made it so much better. I still would have liked it if I read it, but the audio was just so well done. And so, even though it was published over a year ago, I am going to read it this year and put it on my anticipated summer reads for this year. Even though the summer is just kicking off, I am literally so excited for the fall and for the holidays. Like, I live for the holidays. I am so excited to get my TBRs prepped and planned for not only for fall, but for Christmas as well. I actually think on Goodreads that there was an anticipated fall, autumn, Halloween book recommendation list already, but I was like, if I like start thinking about my fall TBR, I'm just going to get swept away in it and I'm not going to focus on the summer. And so I am just going to focus on my summer TBR, my summer reading plans, and just start filming more vlogs and read with me's and things like that. I'm also trying to decide when fall will start for me because in my home, fall starts about September. But reading wise, it depends how many books I feel like I want to read for the summer with like a summery vibe. But again, I read thrillers throughout the entire year. And so thrillers not only go with Summerween, but they go with Halloween as well. And so I'm kind of already in the mood, like in the spirit of fall and autumn. And so I'm not really sure how long I want to extend that summer reading list. I definitely don't read books with that summer vibe with like beachy covers and things like that. I don't read those kind of books for like later into the year unless one of my favorite authors releases something like that. But for the most part, I stick to my monster romances, my romanticides, and my thrillers, psychological thrillers, mysteries, and all of that delicious stuff. One type of book I do really enjoy reading during the summer is like a humorous mystery book. And if you know kind of what I'm talking about, or if you don't know what I'm talking about, think of Finlay Donovan is Killing It by Elle Cosimano. If you've never read this book, it's so good. It's so funny. It's essentially like an amateur sleuth single mom gets herself into a big mess. It's really funny. It's really well written. And I think there's 3 or 4 books, and I've read 2 of them, I believe. So I might end up putting the third book in that series on my summer reading list because that just goes so well with, in my mind, like books I would read by the pool. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and let me know what's on your summer reading list because I obviously need recommendations. We only have so many months left of summer, which is so crazy to say. Like, it's already July. And like I said, I could be cutting summer short for myself because I will just be ready to dive into all of the fall, autumn, cozy, rainy type books like dark academia. I mean, I'm excited. So, to help me not wish away my summer, let me know what you're reading for the summer, what gives you sitting by the pool or sitting at the beach vibes, and let me know what those are. And I might put some of them on my August and September TBR. I'm sending you good vibes and good books, and I will see you next Friday.